Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josie. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josie. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josie, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have a guest that will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is building a buyer's list. A buyer's list is a list of investors or individuals who are interested in purchasing properties specifically for wholesale deals, which involve buying properties at a discounted price and selling them to other investors at a higher price, but still below market value. Having a strong buyer's list is important for successful wholesaling in real estate. One effective way to grow your buyer's list is to attend local real estate investor meetings and networking events. These events are a great opportunity to connect with other investors in your area who may be interested in purchasing wholesale deals. Be sure to bring business cards and a brief description of the types of properties you are looking to wholesale. Additionally, consider advertising your wholesale deals on social media platforms, online classifieds, and real estate investor websites to reach a wider audience and attract potential buyers. Always be sure to provide accurate and detailed information about the property, including location, condition, and asking price, to help generate interest from potential buyers. So, having a strong buyer's list is like having a trusted friend with a pickup truck when you're moving. They make it easy, efficient, and you know you can count on them when you need them most. Now, on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. We have with us Josh Hanson. Josh is a licensed real estate agent, an active real estate investor, a coach, and ChatGPT expert. Josh will be discussing how to use ChatGPT for real estate investors. So if you're looking for ways to stay ahead of the curve and gain a competitive edge in the real estate market, this episode is for you. So welcome to the show, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
This is your first podcast ever?
First podcast ever.
I love popping podcast cherries, Josh. I'm just saying. So
yeah, I love it.
And we have been Facebook friends for a while, following each other and travel in many of the same circles. So it's nice to finally meet you and have you on the show. And I'm so excited about today's topic, which is artificial intelligence, aka ChatGPT, which is the tool we use. So before we get into that, Josh, tell us how you got involved with real estate.
So straight from high school, I bought my first home with my own money and own credit and things, and decided to flip it. Had a full-time job, worked second shift, and took me 2 years to flip it, right? I had no systems. I stumbled upon about a $30,000 profit and said, hey, I could do this. So I kind of dabbled here and there, and then I decided that I lost a job, and at about that same time, I heard a infomercial on the radio or a commercial on the radio, and went full force into that, and here we are today.
An education program.
An educational program.
And we were both part of the same education program, so shout out to Fortune Builders, Than Merrill. I would love to have you on my show, Than Merrill, just saying. All right, so
yeah.
I love that, man. But yes, I owe everything to Fortune Builders. Having that strong educational platform, it was very expensive. I think we paid $35,000 when we joined, but we made it back within 6 months. So it's just one of those things. where I am a big believer of investing in your education, investing in yourself so that you have guidance so you don't make big mistakes. And you actually coach for fortune builders right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I owe everything to Fortune Builders as well. Just phenomenal group, phenomenal people, taught me ins and outs and taught me how to be a well-rounded real estate professional in my, it gives me a competitive advantage as an agent as well. So yeah, I coach for Fortune Builders as well. And it's fun. I met a lot of great people, a lot of people are just wonderful to work with, and they want someone to help them. And I love reaching back and helping the next person along. So,
and you coach football too, is that correct?
Yes. I coach high school football and sports for my kids also. Yes.
Very cool. When did you join Fortune Builders? Just curious.
2012, July of 2012.
Wow. So you've been doing this a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, it was 2017 for me. So,
okay.
And I was able to quit my corporate America job within, I think it was 8 months, which is, anyway. So I could talk forever about education because I'm such a believer in it. And being a coach, by the way, is the best form of learning. Teaching other people is the best form of learning. So it also helps me become better at what I do. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yes, agreed. So
Absolutely.
Today we are going to talk about artificial intelligence, which is taking over. And I have seen some people who I highly respect, who is a speaker at Fortune. Actually, he worked for Fortune Builders, saying that you have to be careful because AI is taking over everything, and you don't want to put too much into it. But this tool, ChatGPT, which is what we're talking about today, it's just a tool. So I wanted to tell you, Josh, my badassery bestowment and my intro were all done on ChatGPT. And I laugh because I would never come up with it's like a trusted friend with a pickup truck. And we're going to talk about prompts and everything like that. But that was one where I was like, that's a little odd, but I'm still going to put it in there just for the purpose of today's show. So
absolutely.
Tell us, what is ChatGPT? And by the way, that's ChatG, the letter P and T. So go ahead.
Absolutely. So ChatGPT is basically artificial intelligence. It is a generative pre-trained transformer, which is a robot, right? So it's a robot. It's a tool that you can use and I use it for marketing strategies, but it's a tool that you can use for many things and many items. But it's a tool for you to save time, be able to implement. Speed of implementation is huge in the real estate industry and in any industry. So it's a tool to use that helps you move forward and get marketing out the door quicker and with less brain power.
So my understanding and what I use it for is to write things for me. And I haven't gotten this far yet, but you can put in a couple topics and then it can spit out a whole blog for you. And
absolutely,
blogs are also a great way to drive traffic to your website as far as, search engine optimization, etc. But how would one use it for real estate investing specifically?
Okay. So there's you can use it multiple ways, but you could type in, you could use prompts and very specific prompts will get you the specific answers you're looking for. But you can type in, write me a 1-page letter to homeowners in the probate process and benefits of selling that, or, there's a multitude of ways to do that. But there's one way. The next thing is, we all use templates and scripts and things. You can enter that script or template in and say, make this better, and it'll make it better.
Interesting.
You can say, add a call to action at the bottom of this letter, and it will write that. And it can use hashtags. The more you use it, the more it learns you, and it's kind of like a conversation between you and the robot. But there's a multitude of ways to do that. But I use it a lot for marketing. You can type in, create a 30-second Instagram video targeting motivated sellers coming from a real estate investor.
I feel like prompts are the most important aspect, and it's like Google searches. And I kind of relate it to that because I can find anything when I ask the Google, but I know you have to ask the Google the right way. Mm-hmm. Whereas my husband's just puts in some things and he's like, I'm not finding it. I'm like, you are not talking to the Google properly. So I just wanted to put in, so for example, when I did your intro, I said, please use the following bio and write a podcast intro. And I just copied and pasted what you did. And then it was really, really long. So I said, my next prompt was, please write another podcast intro using the same bio, but remove information about his family. That's because it went into a lot with your family, which by the way, you can read his bio in the show notes. Then it was still really long. I said, please write a shorter bio intro and add that Josh will be discussing how to use ChatGPT for real estate investors, which is how it spit out the right one. And this question is, because you said it starts to learn about you and your style, etc. Is it for all of your chats or when you start a new chat? Because then I did a second chat talking about, let me just scroll up here. I said, please write a quick tip for newer real estate investors on how to grow a buyer's list for wholesale deals. And then I had also learned that the word witty that they recognized the word witty. So I said, please write an ending statement with a witty tone on why it's important to have a strong buyer's list, which is when it spit out having a pickup truck. And I was like, okay, I'll use that. But is it the whole, everything like with my login, or is it just per chat? It's
the way I understand it and the way it seems to work with me is like you can use it as a wide variety, but like I use it for investment marketing. So every time it's per chat, but it also, like if I continue to say, let's say for one touch, I do the first touch for a probate to a homeowner, right? And the second touch. So the more I write about probate or prompt about probate, it'll learn that specific thing. So it's per chat, but it's also about that specific item that you're researching or that you're trying to write about.
This is awesome. So
it's crazy.
It is really crazy. So tell me about the benefits of using ChatGPT, and then we're going to talk about the limitations. So what are the benefits first?
So one of the benefits is there's like when you go to write something, or at least when I go to write something, I have like writer's block, right? So I'll not do it, or I'll just stare at the computer or whatever for a long period of time before I write something. This takes that away. This literally is, you can type in a few words and it spits something out within 30 seconds, right? And it's like having a writing assistant, like a top-notch writing assistant, like the best one ever, at your fingertips, literally. You can it saves cost of marketing. It saves time, speed of implementation.
Huge.
Yes, huge. And it's easy to use. That's to me, that's the biggest benefit. It's easy to use for me because I'm not the smartest guy in the world.
All right. So someone who's been living under a rock listening to this, how do they find ChatGPT?
So you can literally go to your Google box and type in ChatGPT.
And it's called OpenAI though, right? The actual website.
The actual website is called OpenAI, but it'll bring you right there. Yep.
And like prior to recording this podcast this morning, I was trying to get in there and it kept saying, we're a little busy right now. Check back in later. So it's a free tool, but many, many people use it. So do give yourself some time to get into it because sometimes you will have a wait. So
yes. Let's
dive into the limitations. Maybe that's one of them, is getting on the website to begin with. But what are some other limitations of ChatGPT?
Yeah. So you had mentioned prior that one of our mutual friends is like, you have to be really, really careful with this. It's a robot. It's not going to, I don't believe it's going to take my job. It can't go to listing appointments for me. It can't do this. So one of the limitations is it'll get you 60, 70, 80% there, 90, maybe sometimes 90, 99% there. But then you add your personal touch to it, just like you did this morning with my bio, just like I do, because it is sometimes long or long-winded or throws in words that maybe doesn't relate 100% to your business.
Right.
So the action is on you. You type it in and then you proofread it, look at it, make sure it's what you want to send out, and it correlates with your branding and with your expertise and what you want people to see about you and your business.
So perfect example there is when I did the badassery bestowment, it said to connect with other investors in your area. Oh, be sure to bring business cards. Like, I have business cards, but that's a little outdated. Most people use just QR codes these days. Yes. And they called it local real estate investor meetings. I call them meetups. So it's just little tweaking of terminology right there. So yes, absolutely. Very, very good point. And I didn't change a thing just because I wanted it to be, very real.
Right.
So any other limitations you can think of?
Yeah. So there's just a few more, but just like anything else, social media, you have to be a producer and not a consumer. You could sit here all day long, 24 hours a day and type things in. But if you're not, as a real estate investor or an agent or whatever, if you're not getting this out the door, you're marketing out the door, you're just being a consumer. And so that's a limitation for some people. You have to be a producer. And then, again, your business the best, so you have to proofread it and throw your stuff in there, what makes sense to you. And then content ideas is from 2021 and earlier. So if, I wouldn't write it, give me market stats for, Charlotte, North Carolina, whatever, because they're going to be old market stats.
I did not know that. So it's everything before 2021.
That is correct. 2021 and older.
And where are they pulling this from? I understand it's a robot, it's artificial intelligence. Are they just pulling it from other data, from other blogs that are out there? Where are they getting this information from?
So to be quite honest with you, I don't know. It pulls from multiple sources, but I don't know exactly which sources those are.
Got it. All right. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned marketing letters. I never even thought to do that. And I love sending postcards and letters. I'm a direct mail nerd. Mm-hmm. And that is a great idea. So what are some other ways to use ChatGPT?
Okay. So you can, you can create Facebook posts. You can create Instagram videos. You can create blogs. Like you said, it could, I've even used it as a coach for high school sports, but I've used it for writing letters to my parents, my players' parents, and things like that. So, it's just, there's a multitude of uses for this. So,
Josh, let's go back to the whole Instagram and Facebook post, because I think this is great. And you mentioned video at one point. So it tells you how to make the video, though, correct? It doesn't make the video in ChatGPT. It's literally just words.
Yeah, it's scripted right there, and it tells you what to say, when to say it, and what picture to use, or what video, where to cut the video. Yes.
So a friend of mine, Larry, who is a phenomenal podcaster, spoke at PodFest couple weeks ago, and he taught us how to do you get the script from ChatGPT, then you upload it into a different site, and it will produce a voiceover, and you can find these different voices. Then you can upload a photo into another different artificial intelligence site and say, turn this into a Pixar type image with a soft evening glow, and all these very cool descriptive points. And then you still have to upload it and put everything together. And video ID or VID, or forgive me, I don't have my notes in front of me, but are there websites? Because for me, it was very challenging to go upload this and try this. And I just messed around, and it took me like 2 hours just to make this video. Is there something like a one-stop shop that can do all of this for you?
I haven't explored that type, but from learning about this, yes, there are one-stop shops, but I haven't personally used them. But it doesn't, they are out there.
Okay. And I was talking with Bob McIntosh, who I'm sure you know from Fortune Builders as well. And the other
Bob's
Ginger.
a great guy.
He's a great guy. The other Ginger. And Bob, I was like, is this going to hurt you? Because he does a lot of online marketing for people. He does websites, et cetera. And he said, well, exactly the reason you just said, Jen, because you have to go from one place to this place to do this. And, a lot of those places you have to pay a monthly fee to make sure you can get in, to have it produce an image for you, et cetera. So, maybe even just finding virtual assistants or someone like Bob to do that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot to it.
Yes, there's a lot to it, and it's like an onion. You just keep peeling back layers. Absolutely.
And where do you see the future of this going?
I don't even know, because my mind is blown, because it's great. I think it's great. If you're a producer, it's great, in my opinion, right? But I see it taking over, like helping you be more efficient in businesses in general. In my opinion, that's where I see it going. I mean, I can't fathom how great this is. And I've immersed myself in it, and I still don't know everything. And it changes every day.
Every day.
Right. And here's a thing that'll blow your mind too. So I can go and type in like a marketing thing or whatever, and I can say, put this in so it fits into a Google sheet, and it will put it in there. So for training purposes and things, I mean, it's crazy. So it's just going to make us a ton more efficient, in my opinion.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea about that. And that kind of makes me think about like GPS in the car. Back you had to print out the directions. What was that site called? Quest something? MapQuest.
Oh, MapQuest. Yep.
And so you actually had to learn directions and everything. And now I'm dumb. I just put in, take me to Kohl's, and it will just take me right there. But anyway, so do you see any downside in the future from this? Are people going to lose jobs? Like, I immediately was like, ooh, I'm not going to be hiring that virtual assistant again, because now I can just send it to, I spent $2,500 to make reels. And so now I'm just like, I will just go to the artificial intelligence to do this. And it came out better, I got to tell you.
Right. No, I mean, I think there's a chance that there can be some jobs lost, but I don't think it's huge. And I think this is just a tool to help us move forward. I don't think it's trying to eliminate jobs or anything like that. I just think it's making everybody, whoever's in this space, I think it's making their job easier. Like you said, it's the GPS. I mean, it doesn't hurt us. It just helps us. It helps us move forward as long as you're using it correctly.
The last thing here that I want to make sure that we touch on is like proper prompts. And I know there's like a trick to it. Any keywords, I mentioned, someone told me to use the word witty. And also some people told me to always start with please, because they actually do respond better to using the word please. You don't want to piss off your robot, basically. But what are some really good prompts that we can use?
The more specific you can get, the better. So I always type in what type of homeowner. So I'm using marketing, right? So I would say
pre-foreclosure.
Yeah, let's just say pre-foreclosure. So write a one-page letter targeting pre-foreclosure homeowners, or homeowners who are in pre-foreclosure, coming from a real estate investor, and what are the benefits to selling to a real estate investor, or and just as more specific that you can get, the better answer and the better quality answer that you'll get. So yeah.
And if it doesn't spit out what you really want, you can then say, now use what you wrote above, or I don't know if you would even say that, but using what you just wrote, please remove information about his family, like I said for your intro, or
absolutely, or put the benefits into bullet points, so it's not just all written, so it's bullet points. Like I said, put a call to action at the bottom. You can also say, if you're going to email it, right? If you have an email campaign, you can type in, give me the 3 best subject lines to get the email opened, and it'll give you some of those, and then you can choose and pick and all that stuff and create, and yeah, it's mind blowing.
Josh, this is so awesome, and all of us are still learning how to use this. Listeners, if you have not checked this out yet, get on your computer today. I have the app on my phone as well. I don't use the one on my phone very often, but it's nice to have that there. And I think that was like $26 for the year or something. But that way I know I can get into it if I need it immediately. The one online,
absolutely.
Yeah, the one online, sometimes you have to wait. But you heard me at the beginning do a badassery bestowment. So do you have a nugget that you can share with our listeners?
I'm huge on being a lifelong learner, and it doesn't matter the circumstance or who you're around or where you're at. Always being a lifelong learner is the way to go.
I just feel like I'm going to save money if I find a mentor or a coaching program that is going to teach me specifically what I need to do, so that I'm not wasting my money on making mistakes, etc. So I'm a big believer in being a lifelong learner.
Oh, absolutely. And change is inevitable. So, you have to keep up with the times, and you kind of always have to be leveling up. I mean,
absolutely. Agreed. Well, Josh, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for teaching us about ChatGPT. The second half of the podcast is what makes Josh Hanson a badass. And I use the acronym BADASS. And the first letter is B for book. What's a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
So I'm a big sports guy. The Marty Smith book, he's a member of College Game Day and ESPN. It's called Never Settle. I'm just an old country boy at heart too. So I love that book.
Very good. I went to UCF, by the way, and I just remember when they finally came to UCF, I was like, yes, game days at University of Central Florida. All right. The first A in badass is advice. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
So, for a long time, I was a knucklehead, right? So I had a ton of advice come through, and I just kind of filtered it, went through one ear and out the other. But with age comes wisdom. So anyways, there's a couple of, I like this quote from that Marty Smith book. Have passion. Passion exceeds all traits. Passion wins always. You'll meet people who are more talented. You'll meet people who have better opportunities. You'll meet people who are smarter and more attractive. Heaven knows I do every day. But I've never met anyone with greater passion or greater loyalty than me. It is an intangible. It can't be taught. Show up with it and you'll impact people well. And in this life, if you impact people well, you win. So that's the quote from Marty Smith in his book.
I love
it. And then a thing I try to, yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's great. I'm a passionate guy. I wear my emotions on my sleeve sometimes, and I just love that. So that's something I was looking by.
Very good. I love that one. All right. The D in badass is for drive. What drives you to be successful?
Hearing the words, well done, good and faithful servant at the end of my life. That's what drives me. Leaving a legacy for my kids, my boys. I have 2 boys, Brady, who's 14, Jace, who's 12 or almost 12 in May here. Being the best husband and father I can be, being the best friend to every friend. And then be defined by my character and kindness as a man and not by my title.
Well, I am glad we are finally meeting Josh, because I can believe all of that about you just from this little time that we've spent together. And that those are great reasons to be driven. So thank you for that. The second A in badass is for aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So what is a goal you are currently working on?
So one of my goals right now is just to make my community better. And I'm always, by coaching sports and by specifically getting into the youth and loving on them, that they so desperately need that right now. So one of my goals is just to make our community better. The one I live in our huge community, the world, and giving back just the guidance yeah, I guess being a coach at Fortune Builders, that also, like we were talking about earlier, when one coaches to learn, so the people that I help me,
Right.
probably just as much or more than I help them, probably. So
So true. I feel that to my core. So good. All right. Yes. The first S in badass is for systems. What systems do you have in place to help you achieve success?
So accountability. I have people in my life who hold me accountable day in and day out. Some of those days I don't make it easy on them, right? So some days it's hard for them to hold me accountable because I make it hard for them to hold me accountable with my knucklehead moves and what have you. But so accountability, and then leverage. I love Gary Keller's quote. The ultimate key to tilting the money time ratio in your favor will be leverage. Leverage is divided into three categories: people, systems, and tools. And this leads me into, and I try to use all three of those to my advantage, but this leads me into my next, what I call system, and some people don't call it a system, but relationships. I'm a big relationship guy. I truly believe that people are our greatest asset.
Mm-hmm.
Building and cultivating and nurturing lifelong quality relationships is key in this life, in my opinion. Huge, in my opinion. I mean, deep down, soul connecting relationships. That's what I do, where people will run through a brick wall for me or two, and I run through a brick wall for them without question, or two or three walls, whatever it takes. These types of relationships last forever, and they endure all. And I also strive to create and nurture these relationships every single day. So those are my systems per se. I mean, I have many in my businesses, but to me, those are the three that truly represent.
And that's huge. And I am a big believer in accountability as well. Do you have like accountability groups, or do you literally just have like accountability partners? How do you structure that?
Both, right? So I have accountability groups per se in my different businesses, and solid relationships, people I trust, that I go to, and they're just individuals, but groups also.
Very good. Yeah, I have my accountability group. We've been meeting for 5 years. We have lunch every other Thursday. And just being in the real estate investor industry, it can be very lonely, working from home all the time and running out meeting new clients, etc. But you miss that water cooler talk from, your previous job, or, well, you started right out of high school. So it's just it's a great way to be on top of everything. And it pushes you. You want people who are going to push you out of your comfort zone. So big believer. Absolutely. Josh. Excellent. All right. To wrap this up, the final S in badass is for success. What does success mean to you?
So this might be different as you learn. I'm a different character, but success to me is overcoming addiction. Success to me does not have to be glamorous. It could be just getting out of bed, right? It could be letting go of the past hurts and hangups that we all have. Success as a single mother, single father, going at it alone. Success is being able to grow my marriage and help guide my sons and spend time with them. Success is having a cold beer with my buddy and listen to sad country songs when I want to. Right? Success is leaving my passion for football and life to my boys. Success to me is slowing down in this 110 mile an hour world and writing a thank you letter to somebody that impacted you, or sitting and chatting with somebody that is that you may love or you will come to love. So I guess basically success to me is all relative.
And I love the whole letter idea. I just learned from Gary Harper, who he's a business coach. He's wonderful. And he challenged us to write a thank you letter to someone who's been really important. And I did it. And it was tough. And it had to be handwritten too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't handwritten something in so long. But it meant a lot to me to make sure that person knew how special they were to me. So Josh, this has been wonderful. I thank you so much for being on the show today. How do the listeners find you if maybe they have some questions about ChatGPT or anything else?
So you can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, however you want to. Send me a message. My phone number is 231-578-8771. Again, I'm here. I'm just me. I'm nobody special, but I'm trying to do extraordinary things, just as an ordinary dude.
Well, you are special to me, and I appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you so much for having me, Jen, and I love this show, and I hope to be back, and thank you so very much for having me, and I can't wait to continue building our relationship together.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And that is all. Thank you for listening. And we will catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josie by visiting therealjenjosie.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.